So, ladies and gentlemen, The Little Mermaid has now been released, much to everybody's excitement. I think, people are swimming past each other trying to get into the cinema. They can't wait to sit down and watch this film on the big screen. Or can they wait to watch it? We're going to be talking about it later on in this video. But this film, nonetheless, as we all know, has caused major controversy anyway, because Disney decided to make another great decision and race swap Ariel for no more than a virtue signal, increase their ESG score maybe, the CEI index scores, who knows, it's all tied into one. Now this was obviously cheered, celebrated by the liberals, by the progressives, as we all know. If it was the other way around, the uproar would be through the roof. But they celebrated it because it means race swapping Ariel, people from different backgrounds are represented. And I don't know if this is more of a guy thing than a girl thing, but I think I speak for a lot of guys here. When we were younger and we were watching superheroes, etc., cartoons, we didn't care what race the character was. If it was a good film, we enjoyed it, everybody enjoyed it, and it just shows how differently people think now, because all of that now matters. I wish we could just watch films and, politics is kept out. But then again, that is 2023, ladies and gentlemen. But how is this film doing? Well, domestically, it's actually doing pretty well. Domestically, it's in its first 3 days generated $95.5 million and is projected over 4 days to create $117.5 million. Now, it's probably gone past that, which is a good thing, right? Especially by Disney standards these days. But unfortunately, we don't just judge a film on how well it does domestically. We judge it how it does internationally, unfortunately, for many people. And unfortunately, again, it's not doing too well internationally. Overseas, The Little Mermaid had a rocky start, especially in Asia, coming just above industry's pessimistic projections, grossing soft $68.3 million over 51 markets versus Aladdin's $122 million, and did $95.5 million in the US. Ariel had $163.8 million global opening at the box office versus Aladdin's $213.5 million. And with the new films coming up, I believe the new Spider-Man film is just around the corner. This film, The Little Mermaid, is going to have to compete long-term with those sort of films, and in my opinion, I just don't think it will. People's attention spans are quite quick, they switch pretty fast, and people will be on to the next film. So I don't think it's going to do that well over the long term. This film, I believe, has had a $250 million budget as well, so it's going to have to create a lot more for it to be deemed an overall success. Now, obviously, the liberals, the progressives, will use the race swapping as an excuse as to why it didn't do too well. They'll go ahead and say, countries like China, it's their fault because they're racist, etc. And do I think that's the biggest issue with this film? No. Okay, I just think, for me personally, people are just bored with Disney constantly making remakes. They've obviously ran out of ideas. They can't even make something original that is decent, so they revert back to the remakes. And they do it, and it's terrible anyway. If you've seen the original of the remake, you already know how it starts, how it ends. The only new thing in the films is whether they end up changing a character or not. It doesn't really have that excitement to it. And as I said, they can't create anything new anyway that's any good. So they've put themselves in a really bad position. It's sad, because I could go as even far to say that the aura that Disney had once upon a time, especially when we were younger, maybe that's gone. It's finished. I think that's the case, and they deserve it. Firstly, because of the below par films they constantly make, and this is a reason why I personally stopped watching things like Marvel. Okay, I don't watch Marvel now out of choice, because every time there'd be a trailer, you get excited, you pay the extortionate fee, you pay the extortionate fees for the food, you get into the cinema, and then you leave and you wish you ended up saving your money. Right? The films have been terrible for so long. And on top of that, obviously how woke they've become. People are tired, they are frustrated. Is it any wonder Disney are losing so much money? Yet they don't change anything. They keep on going down the road that people don't want. It's like they are intentionally hurting themselves for whatever reason. Who knows? It's gotten to the point where you already know when Disney releases something or something associated with them, it's not going to be great, and it's going to include something that doesn't need to be there. That's how low they've gotten. That's the level they are at. But we've gotten to the point in the video where I think to myself, maybe I'm in the minority here. Maybe I am, because apparently The Little Mermaid was such a good film. It was so great that it caused fights in cinemas. It must have been so gripping to watch that people got so distracted that they started causing fights in the cinema. Take a watch.
took my daughter to go see The Little Mermaid in Orlando, and this happened.
Oh, I need a refund on my ticket. No, we getting a refund because No. Hey, excuse me. We need a refund. What's going on? This is a kids movie. Oh my God.
That 1 minute clip there would probably make more at the box office in total than The Little Mermaid. Now, this is also the part in the video where I have to make a confession, and I've purposely left it towards the end of the video so, you know, people don't judge me. You know, it's very hard being judged. I've actually seen this film. Yeah, not out of choice though, trust me. I went into this, okay, and I put the thoughts about Disney behind me. I left them at home. I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe Disney have learned. Okay, maybe Disney have learned to create a good film. Which is why I know it was terrible throughout this whole video. You know, I kind of conveyed that. It is terrible. And I know that might be offensive to some people, but I keep it real with you guys, right? I'll be honest. There is nothing in that film that stood out to me. It felt like to me nothing happened. And I would have no issue never seeing that film again. Do you know what the best part about the whole film was? It was when the credits hit. And I was like, oh, it's over. Let's go home. And I know the film isn't catered towards my gender, or it wasn't anyway, but who knows with today's world. But you know, I can appreciate a film that is good regardless of who it's catered to, right? And I would say, oh, it's a good film, even though it's not catered towards me. I can see why people like it. I can't see why people like it. I really can't. There's nothing about that film that stands out to me. It doesn't stand out from any other film that's been released. I know it's a Little Mermaid story, but it's like there was no need to remake this film. There really wasn't. It's like, as I said earlier, they're just bored. They have no ideas, and they think, well, you know what? Let's remake this one. That's Disney in a nutshell for you. But those are just my opinions, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you're going to leave your ones down below. I can't wait to see them. I really can't. Are you going to go and see The Little Mermaid? Will you go and see it? Do you think it's something that Disney needed to do? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed today's video, then please, for me, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day. Stay safe. I'm out. Peace. The film was terrible, trust me.
And that's just facts.